The insatiable appetite for campaign dollars has turned the government into a stop and shop for every greedy and narrow interest in this country. The leaders of Washington's incumbent party, both Democrats and Republicans, have failed their duty. They've placed their own interest above the national interest. They have allowed themselves to be trapped and in some cases corrupted by the powerful forces of greed. It's time for them to go.
Hi, my name's Jose. I want to welcome you to Politically Correct Cooking, a show that has been described by none other than the Washington Post as, let me read it for you here, fun-filled family fare for the discriminating viewer with taste, class, and sophistication. Oh, excuse me, that sounds like a review for the Howard Stern show. Here's what they say about politically correct cooking. Mesmerizingly bad, yet earth-friendly. Well, folks, prepare to be mesmerized while I prepare to be bad. And as for you, Washington Post, since we're so earth-friendly, prepare to be recycled. Our guest tonight is a representative from We the People. Welcome, Andy. Come on down.
How you doing?
Glad you could make it.
Thank you very much, Jose.
Love the hat.
Thank you.
All right. Well,
I bought it for the occasion.
It looks great. Well, looking at all this food here, I have these wonderful aromas hitting me in the nose. What's on the menu tonight?
We have tabouli today, which is a Lebanese salad. It's made with parsley, made with fresh tomatoes, some burgle wheat, some wonderful olive oil. We have some lemon juice, and we have some cumin and other secret spices.
Now, if I remember correctly, tabouli is the green stuff that sticks to your teeth, right?
That's right.
Okay.
Always carry a toothpick.
Okay, great. Well, tell me what you want me to do, and then we can talk about We the People.
All right.
Okay.
With tabouli, it's mostly chopping. There's no cooking involved in this at all.
Great.
So what you want to do is grab a handful of this parsley, put it right here on your chopping block, and just go for it.
Go for it. Okay.
And in the meantime, I'm going to be coring these tomatoes. We're going to be cutting them into little squares.
Okay. Now, We the People, how did this organization come about, and what do you all do?
Well, as you may have recalled, during the 92 campaign, Jerry Brown started the organization. We the People is a nonpartisan. It's a grassroots organization. It's nationwide. There's about 18 or 20 chapters throughout the country. The main headquarters is in California, where Jerry Brown is right now, in San Francisco. And we have We the People of Virginia here, which is one of the branches.
Now, We the People, in connection with Jerry Brown, would it be similar to, say, the Ross Perot organization, or is there more leeway? Because I know with the Ross Perot group, United We Stand, pretty much whatever he says goes. Whatever Jerry Brown says goes with We the People?
Well, not really. That was one of the problems from the beginning with the campaign, or one of the blessings, actually, of the campaign, is that most of the people think for themselves. We decide what issues are important to us here in Virginia, and we act on them. We just send some information to California to just update them on what we're doing. But as far as receiving directives from them, no, that's not grassroots. Okay.
Now, the people who make up We the People, is it just Jerry Brown campaign or supporters, or is it a bigger...
No, actually, at the beginning, when it started, it was mostly Jerry Brown supporters. As the organization grew, we started picking up people of like-minded interests. We have a lot of people that have supported Clinton. We have people that have supported Ross Perot, and we even have a few Republicans in the group.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, what is your focus here in Virginia, or here in this neck of the woods?
Well, we have two major focuses. One is the campaign finance reform. And with campaign finance reform, right now it's really ripe. Here in Virginia, they're actually starting to talk about it. It's something that we've never heard of. Virginia just never had any campaign finance of any sort as far as any restrictions on that. And we're just beginning to see some actual noises being made in the legislature about reforming the campaign system here in the state.
I've also, I think I heard President Clinton mention campaign reform also in some of his speeches.
Absolutely. This is the year. It's an excellent year for this kind of thing. It seems like people have sort of caught on the bandwagon, and they're doing really well. I think we've done real well with it too, and it's a very exciting time here in Virginia for us for this kind of thing.
So the time for finance reform is as ripe as those tomatoes.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Now, in this area, in finance reform, is there any victories, or is there any things that might have occurred recently that you can point to and say, well, this is a result of people working together for campaign reform, or is it just stuff right now sitting in the legislature?
Actually, we have some wonderful precedents here in this area, specifically in D.C. We worked on an initiative called Initiative 41. You may have heard of it, Jose. Initiative 41 was an initiative that was put together by the people of D.C. They put it on the ballot, and it's the strictest campaign finance reform legislation of any kind throughout the United States. It's limiting campaign financing to $100 for the citywide elections, to $50 to the ward elections. So that's been a great success, and it passed by 3-2 margin.
But it would seem to me that the council members right now who have to raise lots of funds to be elected, the mayor, was there a lot of opposition on their part, or was there support in, say, among elected officials? Because every time you turn around, if there's an election going on, the amounts spent are huge. $100,000 for here, for a little county seat.
Absolutely.
$1 million, many millions of dollars just for a seat on the House of Representatives.
Absolutely. There was a lot of squabbling about this one. We had a lot of problems with it. A lot of the city council members actually were very vocal against it. They tried to gut it. We wrote a lot of letters to the editor. We made a lot of phone calls on talk shows. We talked to the council members themselves. And in coalition with other groups, we have managed to keep it on the front burner, not let the people forget about it, and it has actually passed. In fact, on the 17th of March, it is to become law here in D.C.
All right. Some of the other groups you might have worked with, who might these other groups be?
On Initiative 41, we worked with a group called Acorn. That was one of them. We also worked on the Rainbow Coalition D.C. chapter. We worked with them too. So that was it was a very well-supported initiative by the people.
Now, in the course of working on this initiative, were you expecting success, or did you think it was just going to be like one step and maybe next election you might be successful, or has something like Initiative 41 been on previous elections that might have failed?
Actually, in D.C., that was the first time for this kind of initiative.
So first time up, you put it through.
Absolutely. It was termed the stealth campaign by the Washington Post. It was one of those campaigns that the politicians thought would just never pass. They just didn't get it. And they
got it in the end.
The public spoke loud and clear. They really socked it to them.
Now, the stuff I'm cutting up here, is it? Should I slice it up more, or should I get more?
No, I think that's fine. I think you can start with another batch, maybe.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay.
All right. This has a really nice smell to it.
Yeah, it does. Parsley is very healthy for you. It's high in iron, and it's a very
green
healthy
leafy vegetable.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
That's one of the wonderful things about this dish. No cholesterol whatsoever. It's all healthy food. There's no cooking involved.
You
don't have to even use your stove. So it's a great dish, especially for summertime, actually.
Yeah. Okay. Now, how did you get involved in cooking?
I have a couple of restaurants in Washington, D.C.
Oh.
Actually, one is called Skewers, which is Middle Eastern, where we make this kind of stuff in.
Uh-huh.
We have another one that's called Cafe Luna. It's near DuPont Circle, that serves California cuisine.
California cuisine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
California cuisine is anything that you don't have a name for. We just call it California cuisine. Yeah.
I thought California cuisine would be cuisine with flakes and nuts in it or something. But
well, we have that. We
have that too.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have that too on the menu.
Okay. Well, I'm looking forward to this. Folks out there, we have a really rich aroma, at least emanating from the parsley here. I like it. Mm-hmm. I like it a lot. And this is the first time we've done tabouli on the show, mm-hmm. and it's surprisingly easy. I don't know how to cook, and I have a feeling that I might be able to master this dish after just one learning experience at it.
Exactly. This is a dish for non-cooks. It's an easy dish to make. You can make it real fast. It really doesn't take very long to make it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's quite refreshing.
Now, in the Virginia area, since mm-hmm. you're with We the People in Virginia, mm-hmm. you've told us about successes in Washington, D.C. What kind of things are you trying to do in Virginia?
Well, Virginia is a hard egg to crack. It's got the good old boy network sort of built into it. We are working right now on the initiative process in Virginia. We're trying to get the ability to have an initiative here in this state.
Now, the initiative process is a process where X amount of a certain percentage of the voting population signs petitions, and this initiative is put on the ballot.
Right.
Now,
and then it gets voted on.
Right.
It's voted on by the people, and then if it passes, then it becomes law. Now,
how many states have, say, this initiative process?
Over half the states have this kind of process. Most of the states that have this process are out west.
Do they find
all of the western states have it?
Do they find the process to be helpful in running the state, or is it it's allowed in the state, but nobody ever gets enough signatures to take advantage of it?
Well, it's not that easy to get enough signatures to get an initiative on the ballot. It's a lot of work. Most of the time, it's anywhere from 5 to 8% of the number of people that voted in the last gubernatorial race in the state. And when you collect all those signatures, then you're able to put the initiative on the ballot. Then the people vote on it, and then it gets reviewed by the legislature. So it's a long process.
When I used to live out in California, as a matter of fact, the first time I ever voted in an election, I was living in California, and I guess I had the honor of voting for Governor Brown. You go to California and you're looking at quite a few initiatives. I know if you're driving down the highways of California, you see yes on 13, no on 35, maybe on 67.
Yeah.
You go into the voting booth, you get a notebook of stuff to vote on. Does this tend to frighten, say, legislators in places where they don't have the initiative process? They use that as an argument not to have initiatives and say, hey, you know, we're your elected officials, let us make the rules and the laws here.
Well, absolutely. We've heard that argument over and over again, as far as, especially they use California as
More parsley?
As the example. Yes, please.
Okay.
Yeah. You're doing great.
All right. I'm having fun, too.
Good. They oftentimes use the process in California as a process why they think the initiative process really doesn't work, because there are so many initiatives that are put on the ballot in California. And the truth of the matter is that on the average, California gets about 12 initiatives per year. Now that's a lot of initiatives. But what the people don't know is that only 2 of those initiatives actually come through the initiative process. All the rest come through the legislature. So the legislature used the initiative process to try to get people out there to vote on issues that they feel are difficult, or they're really not interested in having to be on record for.
Now, the initiative process here in Virginia, what kind of things would we the people be working on if the initiative process was actually, in fact, available in Virginia? Or what does the initiative process look like? Is it 1 year down the road? Is it 20 years down the road? Is there a lot of support for it? Or
the initiative process, unfortunately, there's not a lot of support for it right now, especially not by the legislature. Now, the people of Virginia, through polls, have expressed a great deal of interest in this process. Some of the issues that we want to be able to work on through the initiative process is the campaign finance reform issues. These are issues that the legislature is not going to touch. They're not going to change. And we feel that the easiest and most expeditious way for us to bring up this issue is through the initiative process. Just bring it to the people. Let the people vote on it.
Well, I tell you what, before we continue on, we got to pay some bills. Let us roll to a couple of commercials here,
all right,
and we'll be right back. So pay attention. Don't touch that dial. Don't go to the bathroom. These are important commercials. I want you to watch them. Roll them, please.
Throughout the world, people have been struggling against darkness. They have been fighting to achieve a cornerstone of all basic freedoms, the right to vote. In some places, they have been successful. In others, the light of freedom is yet to shine. But in one nation, which has been a symbol of political freedom to the rest of the world for over 200 years, a shadow has fallen. The United States of America has the lowest voter participation rate of any major democratic country in the world. During our last presidential election, less than half of those eligible exercised their right to vote. Are half of our citizens really unconcerned with social inequality, rising taxes, government scandal, and environmental destruction? Or has the shadow of apathy caused us to take democracy's greatest privilege for granted? Step out of the shadows. Register. Vote.
You know, watching that commercial, these tomatoes are good. Watching that commercial, it would seem that the initiative process would actually encourage voting rather than, having the same low voting rates that we've had, over the last God knows how many elections.
Absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, the initiative process has been shown in the state of Florida alone. The year that they had initiative, their voting was doubled in that 1 year. It's really an amazing thing. I think it gives people sort of a hand at the plow of government. They feel like they're really contributing to the legislative process.
And it seems that it would give the incumbents already in office that they say, wow, if the population base doubles the election, there could be all these new people coming in.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So it's a very, we feel it's a very exciting thing with democracy to have initiative.
It seems like it would be the thing to do. Now, in the state of Virginia, if the initiative program was actually in place, what kind of subjects would we be voting on at the next election?
Well, for example, the bottle bill, which has been around for a long, long time in the state of Virginia. It's, to be precise, about 20 years that they've been trying to pass a bottle bill. Now, something as simple as a bottle bill, where about 75% of the people in this state want to have it, for it to be hanging around for 20 years seems awfully ridiculous.
Now, the bottle bill would encourage recycling, cut the amount of trash on the freeways, things like that. It seemed like it would also create jobs, too.
It would create jobs and a lot of money. Some of the estimates, $150 million can be added to the coffers in the state of Virginia.
What other subjects would we see in Virginia ballots?
Well, we would see some true campaign finance reform. We would actually see limits put on the amount of money that the legislatures get. We would see some limits on lobbying. and how lobbying is done in this state, we would see a real effective anti-smoking bill to be passed in this
In
state.
Virginia?
In the state of Virginia.
Virginia is the tobacco state.
Absolutely, and that's the reason why we can't get any enactment of any sort of consumer-friendly type of any type of initiative that is really that has the consumer's rights in mind to be passed.
I went to the Virginia State Fair in Richmond a couple of years ago, and there's these big signs that say, "Thank you for smoking." They were giving away free cigarettes, things like that. And I don't know, I would welcome less smoking in Virginia, although it seems to me that the tobacco lobby is really entrenched here in the state.
Well, there was a bill in this last legislation, this last process that just ended, put forth by Bernie Cohen of Northern Virginia, who tried to put some sort of limits on where smokers can smoke. Try to put limits, especially in the work environment. And he put all these ambitious and wonderful parts in this bill, ended up being gutted over and over again till it reached a point where now
Doesn't even look like the original.
well the only thing that passed is that you can't smoke in kindergartens. That's the only part of the bill that passed.
It's a start.
It's
a step. It's a step. Maybe next cycle you won't be allowed to smoke in first grade. Who knows?
There you go. We're working our way up.
Okay.
Yeah, but we're a long ways from where we ought to be. Let's put it that way.
So, speaking of where are we at with this meal here?
Okay, we could start pretty much putting it together at this point. That's the fun part. We will end up having to get our hands dirty here.
Good.
Yeah, I'm going to bring this over here so you can put in the rest of the parsley that you've just finished chopping.
Just put it in right here like that.
Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect. All right. And then we're going to add the tomatoes. I'm going to grab one of these spoons here.
Okay.
The pretty colors.
It's a nice color combination.
Yeah.
Green and red.
Nice tomatoes.
Let me grab another one before you put them all in there.
Yeah.
This one's off on the corner. It's mine too. So you end up mixing this together. You add other ingredients.
Yeah. And then we add the burgle wheat.
Okay.
Okay. And the burgle wheat is sort of an optional thing as far as the amount. A lot of people like to put it only just a little bit, just for texture. Other people like to do a lot more, put a lot more in it.
The main.
And use it for a more substantive type of dish. I like to sort of add a little bit because I like the taste of the parsley to come through.
Now, in cooking with vegetables or making vegetable meals here, do you find it better to use like a wooden spoon rather than metal or plastic? Or
yeah, exactly. I think the wood tends to have less taste. It tends to be less intrusive on the dish and the way the dish tastes.
Okay.
So yes, I do like to use wood utensils.
Great.
Absolutely. As you can see, it's mixing nicely here.
Good.
And we're going to add a little bit of the spices here.
Okay, this is
a little bit of cumin.
Okay.
Now you don't want to add a lot of that because it tends to have a very powerful taste.
I can smell it here.
Yeah.
It smells great. Not as good as the part, but it's got its own unique taste to it. All these little flavors working together.
Indeed, yeah.
Kind of like all the different people and we the people working together.
Exactly.
To produce Initiative 41, to produce tabouli.
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's a mosaic.
Mosaic, great. Let me get some plates over here.
Folks, this is a good green stuff. This is olive oil. And the quality of the olive oil makes a big difference in the way this dish comes out.
So you get what you pay for.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And then this is lemon juice.
Okay.
And the lemon juice is also optional of how much you want to put in it. A lot of people like a lot of lemon. Other people like a little bit of lemon. So
Looks good.
As you can see, we haven't used any measuring cups, so
It's just by feel alone.
absolutely.
Sense and feel alone.
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, how do we serve this? Because I noticed by the my stomach clock that I'm starving. I'm ready to eat.
You're ready to eat, huh?
Okay. Tell us what's next on the
I can
agenda.
just put some in the plates, and then we can start eating.
Okay.
Okay?
How is that?
Would you like me to tell people about how to get in touch with We the People and so on?
We certainly would like that.
Certainly.
And while you're doing that, I'm
Yes,
going to
why don't you do that?
Okay.
Thank you very much for joining us today. We the People, as we told you, is a nonpartisan, it's a grassroots organization, and we'd like all of you there to get involved because democracy is not a spectator sport. Everyone has to be a part of this whole deal. We want you to call 758-4466 and get involved. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. And let me get some forks here. Give this a
Gonna
little
take a little bit
try.
more. Do you have your toothpick?
I got my toothpick.
All right.
All right. Cheers.
Bon appetit.
Thank you so much for coming on board. It's delicious. I love it. Folks
Great.
at home, hope you were paying attention. This is delicious. And
nutritious.
don't look at my teeth while I'm talking because they're covered in green stuff. Thank you so much for coming on board. Thanks for coming by.
Thank you, Jose.
We look
Thank you for
forward
inviting
to the next time we vote in Virginia. We hope to have a big stack of stuff in the ballot box there so we can look at it.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Okay. Take care.
People united will never be defeated. The people united.